Well, hello, it's me, Mrs. Blackwell. May was an unintentionally memoir-focused month for me, starting with Ordinary Time, Lessons Learned While Staying Put by Annie B. Jones. Annie is a fellow bookstore owner from the US state of Georgia, and she is also the host of the wonderfully bookish podcast From the Front Porch. I don't usually do readings on these videos, but I've decided to start May with giving you a flavour of Annie's book. This is from a chapter titled A Life Lived with Books, and Annie says, I read books because yes, by some twist of fate and act of serendipity, it is my job. I read books because, at their best, they make me better, more empathetic, more socially aware, more in tune to the stranger beside me. They help me imagine a better future, provide answers to my insatiable questions, take me places I'll never get to go. I read books because they are an easy point of entry to relationship. They spark conversation and make me an enjoyable dinner companion, I hope. Books eliminate my awkwardness, awaken my expertise, and move me forward when I want to stay put. I read books because they fill my depleted soul and give me renewed energy for a life spent outside the walls of my home and the safe pages of the novels I love. So hopefully that gives you a little flavour for this book. I would say it's like your warmest, most introverted friend has poured the contents of their heart and soul onto the page so you can experience what it's like to live in the world as them. It's pitched by the publisher as a book on small town and kind of a small life, but I would say it's anything but that. This is more accurately described as having a purposely settled life, and you can have that whether you live in a big town or a small town. If you know Annie B. Jones, you know that faith is a big part of her life, and so Christianity is a key theme throughout, and I think most Kiwi readers want to know that in advance. The book is not available in New Zealand until July, but I have my ways, and we have some copies at the shop, but I can also highly recommend the audiobook. Annie has a voice that you can listen to all day. It's polished through years of experience, and that's available on Libro FM. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. I bet you had an instinctive reaction to this book, to the cover and the title, but if that's instinctively negative, I would like to encourage you to reconsider. Like our health, our success with money is based more on the things we do every single day, our day-to-day habits. And Morgan tells the story of the 20 key concepts of personal finance over really excellent story-based chapters. If you want your money to be something that helps you sleep at night and doesn't keep you up, then I highly recommend this book, The Psychology of Money. Chinese Parents Don't Say I Love You by Candice Chung. Candice was a food writer in Sydney, but I believe she now lives in New York. This book reminded me of a Nora Ephron movie. So it starts with Candice ending a 13-year relationship to a fortune teller. She then takes her Chinese parents with her to do restaurant reviews. She's describing their transition in retirement to wearing athleisure wear, and she describes their look as 50% startup CEO, 50% backpacker. And these sorts of offbeat details are just peppered throughout the whole book. It does jump around a bit, but again, it's in that style of Nora Ephron, which may or may not be for you, but if it is for you, you will love this book. I want to read one tiny little bit from this. It's on a chapter titled Etiquette for the Solo Diner. Candice has explained what to look for in a restaurant if you just want to go there and read your book. She's at this point explaining what format might work best, hardback, paperback, and she throws in this line. Of course, this is arbitrary if you're reading on a screen, but who's ever seen a film with a beautiful stranger who risks their heart because they saw someone reading their device efficiently? No, you want strangers to sense you're special in your fantasy independent film. And I feel like that could have been a line lifted from Meg Ryan's character, Kathleen Kelly, in You've Got Mail. Speaking of Nora Ephron, the Candice Chung book took me down a little bit of a rabbit hole of watching Nora Ephron trailers, Julie and Julia being one of my all-time favourite movies. And it made me realise that I've never actually read a Nora Ephron, any of her writing. So I corrected that with heartburn. This is fiction. It is based not so loosely on Nora's second marriage to the journalist Carl Bernstein. Carl is one of two journalists who broke the Watergate scandal, And in this story, Nora is 7 months pregnant and Carl has an affair with a British diplomat. This is actual fact from Nora's life. And this charts that period of her life and the eventual demise of their marriage. This book was first published in 1983, making it just a little bit younger than me. And apart from some details around air travel and technology, I felt that it wasn't dated at all. Air by John Boyne. This is the 4th book in the Elements series. I talked about earth, water and fire in January, and in Air it opens with Aaron, who was a minor character in Fire. He has married Rebecca, who was a minor character in the first book, Water, and they have a son and they live in Sydney, Australia. Most of this book is set within aeroplanes and airports, which I thought was kind of an interesting way to contain a story. And like the other 3 books, it has one major twist in the storyline. And unlike the other books, I saw the twist coming in this one. However, I still thought it was an excellent conclusion to the series. Once or twice a year, there is a little lull in my reading life where I just don't have anything on the bedside table that I'm dying to read. And my remedy for that is to look around the shop and try to find something that is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse that I wouldn't normally reach for. And so I tried Mark Hoppus's Fahrenheit 182. Mark is one of the founding members of the band Blink-182. I was sort of ambivalent to this band in the 90s, but my brother and his friends were huge fans, and the songs All the Small Things and What's My Age Again loomed so large over the year 1999 that I thought that I could give this one a go. So it's your classic celebrity memoir. It starts with his childhood, the formation of the band, the ups and downs of that, his life and fame, and I didn't know that the band broke up, but the breakup and getting back together of the band. But what I found what I found more interesting was that Mark is a cancer survivor, and he details his cancer journey seamlessly blending together jokes and cancer. And I think if you know a person going through a serious health crisis, looking for a little bit of light relief, this would be a good suggestion for them. That's it for May. I will see you again in June.